All right, let's get this mic all situated. All right, we're just going to get started off today. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Idols to Rivals podcast. This is episode number 36. I am your host, Jack, and that's at Jack Hummell on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter, at Jack Hummell, 2 M's, 2 L's. And we are back, like I said, with episode number 36 of the Idols to Rivals podcast. February already. I feel like January went by super quick. I don't know about that for a lot of you, but I feel like it was even the past year. I remember, I think it was the second or third episode, I was congratulating the Kansas City Chiefs on winning the Super Bowl. And so we're coming up with that. The Super Bowl is this Sunday. We also have Rough and Rowdy by Barstool, and we'll kind of talk about some other stuff they're doing because I think that they're absolutely killing it. Been following them for about 2 or 3 years now, and I just think they're media-wise taking over just kind of the demographic that I'm involved in, like your 16 to 26-year-old category, whether it be males, females, anything like that. I think they're absolutely killing it. And yeah, so we have the Super Bowl this Sunday. I should be watching it with a couple buddies and just getting after it. I didn't really watch much of the NFL season as it is. I didn't really care about the NFL. I was more into college football, obviously, as I've talked about on this podcast. But watched a little bit of the playoff games when I was down in Auburn. If you saw in the vlog recently on the YouTube channel, we went down to Auburn, got some awesome drone shots that I'm really proud of, and just kind of getting my editing game up, just trying to get better every time I upload something or every time I do something, just to get like 1% better. It doesn't have to be completely different. It doesn't have to be like someone just took the reins and it was just 10x. It's just getting that percentage of just a little bit every time I upload a photo, any time I upload a podcast, anytime I upload a YouTube video, just getting better at that and getting more consistent. And I found recently I got a big ass calendar, and if you're watching on the YouTube video, if you haven't already, we record this live on the YouTube channel as well as whenever we record the audio. So I have this big ass calendar, and I'm realizing that having the big calendar, it kind of helps map things out. I try to do it all on iPhone because it goes over to iPad and the MacBook, and it saves it all over, which is great because it all updates at once. But something about having a like paper calendar, keep track, paper to-do list, I'm still caught on that. I know I sound like a 60-year-old man, but that's what's working for me, and that's what's kind of helped me navigate my own mind and kind of realize that it works better for me. So that's what I've been trying to do, starting this February off right and just trying to get it off on the right foot. I can't believe it's already February. January went by quick. Like I said in the vlog this past week, we this January of 2021 has been absolutely nuts. We had the election and stuff. Then we had the national title game, which we won, which I was in Tuscaloosa for. The next weekend, I went to Auburn to just hang out and go to some of their bars and just hang out with some of my buddies that go down there, that live down there. And then last weekend we went to Miami, and I know I didn't get a bunch of footage of it, but it was a great time. That's where I'm looking to move. I know I've talked about it on the podcast before, either LA, but Miami is now in the running, just for cost of living, for just lifestyle. I think it could bode very well. So looking for jobs down there. So if any of you know anybody and have a friend, I'm willing to do anything. Just let me know. Either leave it in a comment, DM me on Instagram, or however you want to do it. Just let me know. But I've been talking to a bunch of people down there, and that's kind of been my strategy. I don't know if other people are struggling with finding, I don't want to say finding work because that's a pretty blanket statement, but if you're trying to go to a certain spot, if you're trying to move to a different state or a certain specific job or anything like that, the way I'm doing it is just kind of messaging everyone that I know that lives in the area, people I know that maybe not are in the area, but are in the same sort of field, and just kind of rifling and narrowing it down. And then I'm going to do blanket posts on like Instagram, LinkedIn, or not Instagram, on Facebook, LinkedIn, and just kind of work my way from there and just kind of figure it out, kind of go on the path that I think is right for me. I say this, and it'll be talked about in the upcoming vlog. I talk about just like getting distracted by other people and what they're doing, and looking around and realizing, hey, I'm not where my buddy is. I'm not where my friend is. I'm not where my parents want me to be. I'm not where I thought I'd be at 24, 25, at 20, whatever, however old you are. It's really easy to look around and realize and get whiplash and be like, oh, they're there, they're doing this, they're doing that. And it takes a lot to kind of step back and realize that you're going at your own pace. You're right where you should be. Everything happens for a reason. And all the looking around is just gonna waste your time. It's just gonna make you regret. And you got one shot at it. So why would you want to be somebody else? Why would you want to take that time out of your day to think about, oh, I wish I was them? And I get it. I'm human. The reason I was talking about it in the video clip that you'll see on Friday is just because that's what I was thinking about. I was sitting there driving and I was like, oh, well, this person's here. This person has this much money in the bank. This person has this high paying job. They're living here, whatever it may be. And realizing that, hey, you need to step back and live your own life and not worry about what other people are doing. And I've been kind of reeling back on the Instagram and the Twitter, scrolling and spending my time on those apps just because I want to be a producer, not a consumer. I don't want to consume all this stuff and get trapped in that escapism, because that's what has crippled me for a long time. That's what stopped me from making this podcast, from making these vlogs, along with a few other things like I've talked about in other podcasts, like perfectionism, the trap that is. But it's also been consuming a lot of content and getting out of your lane or being in your lane and staring at somebody else's while you're not focusing on the path that you're supposed to be going down. And so getting in that mindset of every time you start looking over here at somebody else, you got to reel back in and straighten up and focus on where you're going, because it's just gonna screw with your path. It's just gonna screw with your mindset on how you think you need to get things done. And mindset is number one. So that's what I've written down. I wrote it down on that calendar that I just showed in the video. Just remembering that mindset is step one. I always try to organize things into, okay, if we're gonna do it like a checklist, how do I get started on the right mentality? Because I know whenever you get in bad spots, you just kind of get in a spiral of just like, oh, this isn't going to work out. This is going to work out. It's all negativity. But if you can stop it and just start with one step, just mindset, just remember everything is mindset, and then go from there. Then if you have a couple quotes you want to remember, if you have a couple like mantras that you live by, if you can start with just mindset, just one step. There's not a million steps to get positive. There's not a million steps to get motivated. Just remember it's mindset. As soon as you remember that, then all the positive thoughts, all the research you've done, all the reading, all these stuff you've learned will kick in as long as you remember that. And that's what I've noticed is whenever I try to think about things in terms of, like I said, if I'm going down a path of negative thought, or I'm getting really down on myself, or things don't look bright, dead ahead. There's some bumpy roads and some darkness ahead. You just one step. Don't think about it as 50 different steps. As I got to do this, then I got to work out, and then I got to do this, and then I got to meditate, and then I got to do this, and then I'll start feeling better. It's just mindset. If you can just lock it down to that one step, it'll change your perspective. And that's the biggest thing is changing your perspective, to be grateful and realizing that you have time and that you have opportunities to get things done. And it applies to going on the offense too. It applies to attacking your goals and attacking your aspirations, and realizing that if you're in the right mindset, you can make anything work. Tony Robbins has said a few things about, he goes, okay, well, what's your excuse? You don't have time, you don't have money, you don't have connections. Those are resources. And so if you don't have resources, you got to be resourceful. And so that's all a mindset, and that's all using your head. That's all using what you have, the skills you have at hand, the things you have at hand, and realizing that you can use them for a lot more things than you thought you could. And getting in that mindset is tough, especially, like I said, when you're on autopilot. I was talking about it when I was driving, or thinking about it rather, when I was driving about, man, it's just like, they're here, I'm here, where, like, why am I so far behind? Why am I this? Why am I that? And then it's just like, as soon as you get caught in that, you're 10 miles down the road and you're just so caught in your own negativity that it really it adds up to nothing but just an anchor around your mind and around your attitude and just you as a whole. And so realizing that, hey, as soon as I can stop that and realize that it's all mindset, that's all it is, you can turn around, you can get in that positive mindset, you can get in that zone of, okay, let's go attack this, let's write things down, let's figure it out, and let's go after it. And so that's kind of what I've been focusing on is the things I can control. Like I said, a lot of times I would love to have the excuse of, oh, I don't have the money, I don't have the connections. I wish I had more money, I wish I had more connections, but so does everybody. So that's not a valid excuse. It's getting in that dominant, that attack mindset to go after what you can do. And I was reading about an article about Sylvester Stallone and how he was, and these numbers are always going to stick with me. He was 30 years old and he had $106 in his pocket, and he was still trying to sell the script to Rocky. And look what Rocky became. Obviously one of the greatest movies of all time, debatably the greatest boxing movie of all time, one of the largest grossing franchises of all time, just as a whole. And he was 30 years old. I think I'm behind sometimes at 23. He was 30 years old. He sold his dog for $40 to get food. And it just put things in perspective of like, okay, you see all these people on TikTok or YouTube, they're 18, they're 16, however old they are, and they're just killing it. They're exploding. but it's like, you don't know their life. You don't know what they did to be there. You don't know all the X factors, all the things they don't post online. And so you gotta realize you're on your own timeline, and things could be worse. They always could be worse. And it's making that switch from, damn, I wish things were going a lot better. I wish things were a lot easier. I wish I got handed this. I wish I got a viral video and 10 million subscribers in a day. You got to realize, okay, well, there's people that don't have food. There's people that don't have a bed. There's people that their children are dying of malaria. Like, it's going from that switch of, oh, I wish things were easier like them, to, wow, I'm so grateful that things are not as bad as they could be. And so making that big, huge, I would say, switch, like a light switch, just going from, damn, I'm grateful for what I have, as opposed to, wow, I wish everything worked out the way that it worked out for somebody else. And like I said, you got one shot at playing this character, and whoever you are, you got one shot at playing this character, as far as we know. So why would you spend time looking at other people, trying to emulate, or being jealous, or whatever it may be? And like I said, most of the time I say these things on this podcast, it's not a prescription for anybody else. It's more of a thought exercise for myself, and reminding myself, because I go through these things all the time. And the reason I wanted to start this podcast was, eventually the goal is to get people on here that I looked up to, and that I'm currently like working with, talking to, make relationships with, and going from there. And then eventually, not really interviewing, just kind of a talk of just like how you would talk with friends. That's the goal. That's why it's called Idols to Rivals. But it's also about being real. It's also about the struggles of, oh, yeah, I wish I was in Miami or LA right now, doing what I want to be doing. But I gotta put in the time. I gotta figure out how to make that work. I gotta make things happen. I can't just go rent a house with 17 of my friends that are also loaded, and just go do that. I wish I could. I'm pumped for the people that can. Jealous, obviously, but I can't do that. Being real about this is what a lot of people are going through. I mean, a lot of people are going through COVID. The whole world is going through COVID, but specifically hiring, employment, things like that. And a lot of people, I think, are going in that mindset of just like, damn, am I falling behind? I got friends I have one of my best friends has 2 children right now. He's 7 months older than me. He has 2 kids, on purpose, thankfully, I think. But he has 2 kids, and he's married. I have no kids, not married, single. And it just makes you think, like, am I far behind? And you just got to quit that. You got to get off the hook, get on the mindset of, you're exactly where you need to be, but that doesn't mean stay where you're going to be. That means putting your head down and grinding. That means, like what I'm doing now, that means uploading these videos on YouTube. They get 20 views. I don't care. They're awesome. I love them. It's making these podcasts that get five listens. I don't care. I love them. All 5 of you that are listening to it, I appreciate you for listening to it. And it means the world to me. Literally, I don't care about the numbers. I don't care about anything like that. Yeah, it would help. It would help it be more justifiable to people that don't believe. It would help me explain it better if I was like, okay, well, I have 15,000 subscribers and I get X amount of thousands of views on a video. It'd make a lot more sense to people that don't get the dream. But at the same time, I'm not really trying to impress those people. I'm not trying to prove it to those people. I'm trying to prove it to myself. I'm trying to prove that I can do it, that I can make it happen, that I think that I have the skills needed to make it happen, whether it be the camera skills or the presence on camera or audio, or however you're watching it or listening to this right now. It's proving to myself that I have the skills, because I've thought for a while that I could do it. And for 4 years, a little more than 4 years, I didn't do it. I would wait and pause and like, oh, well, my life's too boring. And then I come back to realize now that I'm looking for jobs at 23. Why did I not film everything? I mean, yeah, I have some Snapchat videos. Yeah, I have this and photos, but why didn't I film everything? The stories we have, the memories we have, the stuff we did, just me and my friends and my fraternity brothers and all that stuff was just wild. And not a lot of people get to live that, especially at a school like Alabama, or just the opportunities we had. And so looking back, you're like, damn, I had so much lost time. But at the same time, I'm 23. I got time ahead of me. I wish I was 18. But, so does everybody. So does a billionaire. A billionaire would trade all their money in the world to be 18 and just start over and just have more time, because that's the only thing you can't buy is time. That's it. That's the only thing you can't buy. And I saw this concept of, it might have been on TikTok. TikTok's got the wildest brains, and I love it for that. But they were talking about how we're time billionaires. I think a billion seconds is 31 years. So you're 23, you're 20 years old, 31 years. I'll be 54. So if you're 20, you'll be 51. Like it's, and then you have a billion more, you have 2 billion seconds. And you can use that for a lot of things. And so, like I said, the views and stuff and the subscriber count, it will come the more I put in. And I made this decision yesterday, and not yesterday, but I made this decision in my head of just, and it'll probably be a clip in the vlog, but it was just like, you know what? I don't have these connections. I don't have whatever. I don't have friends whose dads own or like beach houses in Malibu. I don't have this. I don't have that. But it's just like, I could outwork everybody. I could post more videos. I could post more podcasts. I could post more Instagram videos, TikToks, Twitter posts. I could post more than everybody and work harder than everybody. And then it's like, you can't refuse it. If I post more than everybody, if I post better than everybody, you can't refuse it. There's nothing holding you back from that. And so that was the decision I made to myself. I think it was lying in bed at like 2 a.m. after watching Breaking Bad through for the 5th time, or maybe 5th or 6th time. I love that show. But yeah, it's just like, you know what I can do? I can work hard. I don't have somebody to call up and be like, I want to go to LA or Miami. I don't have anybody to call up and be like, yo, can I live on your couch? And, oh, hey, your dad, oh, he's a movie exec? Okay, bet, perfect. Let me go over there. Like, I don't have that. Oh, he's a professional photographer? Oh, let me just go help him out and learn a bunch. Oh, that's not an option. But you know what is an option is working harder than every single person on these platforms, on Anchor, on Apple Music, on Spotify, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram, on Snapchat. It's just working harder than everybody. And so I realized that that's the only thing I can do. And quantity over quality, that's one thing I've been trying to preach to myself, because like I said, I was trapped in the perfectionism trap, as I'm sure a lot of people are, with thinking, okay, I got to make it perfect before I upload it. I got to make it perfect before I submit this paper. I got to make it perfect. It's just, you got to get it out. 1 is better than 0. It always will be. 1 is greater than 0. And so realizing that and just hitting record, hitting play, hitting whatever it is that you want to do, or studying whatever it is you want to do, just one step at a time, getting through it. And it's motivating just to realize, you know what, if I post 1,000 videos in a year, somebody's bound to see it. It's bound to pop up on somebody's recommended. I mean, I posted 14 videos in a year, in 16 months, and I have 35 subscribers. I think that's pretty good for 16 months and 14 videos. So that's just what I decided. I said, I'm going to work harder than everybody. I did a photo shoot here behind me in my room by myself, because I didn't have any models or anything like that, and not really anything to model. I was just trying to practice on the camera, get the reps in. And yeah, that's what we're going to do. That's what I've decided. If I could work harder than everybody, if I could post more than everybody, if I can be seen more, that'll help out. And like I said, the views and stuff don't really matter to me. You're not going to be making money. You're not going to be making this a living until you're in the mega numbers, which once again will come, but it's not really the point. The point would be that it makes it a lot easier to, describe to your parents, describe to your family members, describe to your friends. Why are you filming yourself in the bathroom, talking to a camera in a mirror? It would make a lot more sense if there was 10,000 views on a video or 10,000 subscribers, but we'll get there. No one's gonna understand the dream more than you do. And so realizing that it helps put things in perspective of just, you got to be your number one fan. You got to be the number one person that's cheering you on. And I saw a tweet that said, think about yourself think about you like you're in love with yourself. Like you're someone that you're deeply in love with. And what would you say to that person? Because it wouldn't be the self-talk you tell yourself. It wouldn't be, oh, this is gonna be a terrible video. Oh, you look fat today. Oh, whatever it is. It would be, wow, you're amazing. Wow, you're hilarious. Wow, you got a great smile. It's just, you talk to yourself like you care about yourself. This is your one spot. And I know I get negative self-talk. Trust me, I totally understand it. But putting it in that perspective, and I guess that's the theme today is mindset and perspective, because it'll change everything. Everything you want is on the other side of choices. If you decide to upload this podcast, if you decide to upload that picture, if you decide to do this, you decide to study for your test, everything you want is on the other side of decisions. And the best decision is the right decision. The second best decision is the wrong decision. And the worst decision is no decision. And that's something that I want to etch into my bones, because it's so accurate. It's just make a decision, pull the trigger, shoot your shot, because something's going to work out. Something's going to happen. You're going to be moving forward. And progress is perfection. That's all that matters, is progress, is moving forward, is progress. And that's what I've been trying to harp on with myself, is just upload the video. Just edit it, sit down and edit it, upload the video. If you think it looks cool, upload the video. You design a couple shirts, you think it's cool, upload it. Set them out there, put them up there, and just see what happens. You never know. The great stories that I love reading about are just oh, I was an undiscovered singer and I was singing at a 4-person bar in Nashville, and a producer walked in, and now I'm Kenny Chesney. Or, and I don't believe that's how Kenny Chesney was discovered. If it was, I totally shot that from the hip. But just stuff like that. It's like you never know. You're one piece of content away from your whole life changing. And that's why I remind myself. I wrote it down in these little books that you may see. These are all just planners and things just so I can help remember stuff and not have to keep my brain fully loaded. But just you're one piece of content away from your whole life changing, and that's why I do this, is to live the life I want to live. I've worked the 9 to 5s. I get it. I've worked on Capitol Hill. I've worked in so many different jobs, and it's just like none of them fit. None of them felt right. None of them felt like, wow, if I did this for 30 years or 50 years, whatever it is, and then retired and then died, I would be so ashamed that this was my one shot. Like, this is my one go for it. Your one at bat, and just go for it. And so the more I think about that, the more it makes me confident in the decisions whenever I tell people what I'm doing. Whenever I tell people, hey, I was at the dentist today. Actually, my mouth just got feeling back, and it was numb for about 5 hours. It was brutal. That's why I couldn't record this podcast earlier, because I would have been drooling and slurring and things like that. But yeah, it's just like telling the dentist, like, he asked me about my hat, what this logo is. And if you haven't checked out the YouTube video, go check it out on Jack Hummell, just YouTube Jack Hummell. But he was asking what that's about and the stuff on the side. And I was like, oh, it's the company I'm starting. And it's just like, I'd never told that to a random stranger, especially not my dentist who just drilled a hole in my molar. It's just having the confidence to tell people that, and not being ashamed of what you're going about, because you know that there's one shot, there's one trigger pull, there's one arrow, and just let it fly and see where it goes, and taking that leap of faith and just shooting a shot. And so that's what it's about. I'm pumped. If you couldn't tell, I'm in a great mood. I hope you guys are having a great week. Hope you guys have a great weekend as well. And we're going to get after it. I hope you guys check out the video on Friday. It should be really good. I don't know what's going to be in it. It's going to be a lot of motivational stuff, just because that's what's been on my mind recently. And that's what I need for myself. So I think that it would help out a lot of people. But like I said, I appreciate you guys for listening. If you're on Apple Podcasts, if you could leave a review, I appreciate it. If you're on Spotify, if you could follow it, that would be fantastic. And if you're on YouTube, if you could subscribe, like, and comment, that really helps me out more than you know. And it makes me know that people are actually enjoying what I'm saying. And if you have any topics, let me know. We should have a different format next week. I didn't talk about anything that I wanted to talk about, but it flowed really well today, so I'm pretty pumped with it. But yeah, we should have a different format next week. I want to have a guest on and kind of talk about different perspectives, just people my age, people our age, if you're listening, that are kind of in the, like I said, in like the 18 to 26 range. Just kind of get other people's perspectives and see and talk about life and just shoot the shit, because that's what this is about. But yeah, I appreciate you guys for listening. Like I said, if you could subscribe, if you're on the YouTube channel, like and comment, it really helps me out. Check out the new vlog, especially the drone shots over Auburn. I thought they were gorgeous. I'm really proud of them, and wish I would have shot them in 4K. But the more you know, the more you learn. Like I said, quantity you'll learn. But I appreciate it, guys. You have a great week. I will see you in the next one. Have a good one, and remember, attack everything. Peace. All right, guys. I think I said all I needed to say. Peace. Hope you have a good one. Like I said, see you on the next one. Make sure you subscribe.